As-salamu alaykum, Sayyidi.
Walaikum salam.
Forgive me for my ignorance, but is there any truth behind reincarnation?
Walaikum salam wa rahmatullah. No, anytime a shaykh, a guide, at those times like saints, if they describe realities and there's a living shaykh, a living guide, a living saint amongst the people who can see and hear, when they describe a reality they're inside that reality. And what's happened to many peoples and nations is once the pious from amongst them begins to lift from the earth and Allah doesn't replace, because Allah want them to continue on with the messages and the prophecies that were coming at those times. And if they don't, what they have becomes stale because Allah doesn't send a new, because He wants one river to close and everyone to flow to the next river so that everyone's flowing to the ocean. But many don't accept and they stay within their own river and it dries up and they begin to teach each other, but they're not from that level of knowledge. So it's not something that they witness and something that they understood and tasted. They didn't have ilm yaqeen, the knowledge of realities. They weren't trained in ayn al-yaqeen to have the vision of realities, and the knowledge and the vision is what makes it to be haqq yaqeen, the knowledge of certainties and the truth of certainties. So when they say a truth is they witnessed it from all that they were taught through their muraqabah, through their heart and through their training, they witnessed that reality. So when somebody who's not from that tries to describe, oh yeah remember this one came and he described this and described that, and then before you know it, it became a recycling. That, oh these people are come, they get recycled and then they reuse them because maybe at that time recycling was economically feasible in their village, and they something of a point of reference from their understanding. They try to explain a deep reality from the heavens, and that's when everything goes wrong and then the people become misguided, and whatever then they propagate is continuous misguidance. So it lost its blessings, it lost its reality, and then shaitan plays with it and makes it all sorts of stuff. For Allah there is no need to recycle. From whatever Allah brings out from the ocean of creation, we have to know that nothing is ever diminished. So for our mind to even try to understand what the heart should be understanding, whatever Allah takes from creation is never as if He never took it. Whatever Allah gives from ocean of generosity, as if He never gave it. It's never diminished, it doesn't take anything away from Allah. So when Allah wants to create, there's no need to recycle, He just keep creating. So there's no need for recycling in this spiritual reality. Now trying to understand the world of light, then that's the importance of taking the way of tafakkur and meditating, contemplating, trying to open the heart, trying to open the connection and bring yourself deeper into the world of light. And then in your heart keep these understandings that what is this and how was that and what was the reality of that. And through the heart and through the training we begin to understand that you have a timed existence. So this is a skinny person because it's just this little stick. This insan has a timed existence. If he leaves this existence through his meditation and through his practices, he has a soul, and this soul can be trained to use all its force and begin to come out. As soon as his soul and his light comes out, now he's in a timeless reality. So his body is time because it's diminishing and dying, his soul is timeless. Then when he's training or she's training into a timeless reality, their soul is entering. They're entering into a world of light. So now imagine when you operate from your soul in the world of light, then all of this life and existence are just pages. And if they enter to the world of light which has no time, they can go all the way back to the first page, or if Allah allows they can go to the last page. They see Armageddon, they see all of these realities, or they go to the first page and they see that when Allah was giving knowledges to Sayyidina Adam, these are just pages from the mulk, from the world of time. When they're timeless they can enter into any of these realities to learn to understand. Then when we understand even deeper that your soul and the immensity of the world of light means your molecule has existed for all of eternity. Where was it at the time of Sayyidina Adam? Just the molecule of your light was in existence. Where was it at the time of Sayyidina Adam? Where was it at the time of Sayyidina Sulaiman? Where was it in the time of Sayyidina Muhammad? Awliyaullah are teaching all the time that from the people of tariqah, the people of ishq and muhabbat of the love of Sayyidina Muhammad, they have to know that their atom of their reality were all in the cave. In the cave with Sayyidina Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, and that was the cave of all realities. When Allah took His beloved friend Sayyidina Abu Bakr as-Siddiq on the hijrah and they entered into the cave, and that's when we teach about the second month, the reality of 18 Ashab al-Kahf, the people of the cave, all of that and the reality of entering into the cave of that love. Every ashiqeen's molecule had to be inside that cave, witness what Prophet wanted to witness, be dressed by what Prophet wanted them to be dressed, and that's enough. Just the molecule received it and it stored all of that reality, and that's why part of it is the same as the whole of it. So if one molecule is dressed by Prophet, that goes back to your entire wujood and your entire being. So it means then your soul was fully loaded with all those realities. So then imagine and contemplate then when you come into your physical world at the time that Allah has destined for you to come into your physicality. If you break the confines and the boundary of your physicality and you're not lost to physical life, and that's why Allah wants everyone to get the bounty and all the reality that I gave you everything and you're just fascinated by the physicality. Then He inspires some to ascend, sit with them, learn from them, they'll teach you the manners that are required, the character that's required, so that you can make an ascension. And then you're trained on this little bird within your heart has to be free. And that's why the bird is always singing, and that's what we said the people of tafakkur. We gave that the night before. So in Surah Ali Imran 190 to 191 Allah describes these people that we're talking about, because this is tafakkur, this is the people of contemplation. They contemplated and now they operate by their soul. Allah gives their criteria, they are the people of immense zikr, not just little bit zikr, just not somebody at the coffee shop says, no I mention Allah, when I say Allahu Akbar I get ready for my salat, that's zikr of Allah. No, Allah zakirun, these people of dhikr, they're making zikr standing, they're making zikr sitting, and even in their lying and restful state they're in continuous zikr. That can't be salah, because that's not you don't go like that in praying. So it means these people their heart is in a continuous zikr of Allah, a continuous state of love and ishq, and as a result Allah opened for them sincerity, and their soul, their little bird comes out, because the bars on their cage of their desires has been weakened. And that's when we talked before also, that's why the Shaykh is giving you all these like scary videos and talks, and sometimes the talks are jalali and they sound tough and he sounds arrogant and why he's like that, he's so tough. And then the other times they're jamali, because the jalali they burn the cages. You know, when something's a bit tough, it's meant to break the cage down inside so that the bird can become free. Then the jamali and beatific talks and emanation is to entice the bird to come out, and they begin to feel the tajalli, feel the ecstasy and feel that love and that state of love. But you have to burn the cage too, so the two work at the same time. Jamali means majestic might, which is usually sounds like punishment, sounds very tough, sounds very authoritative, and that's meant to break down these cages so the bird can become free. If the bird becomes free and the soul is moving into that ocean of reality, it experiences what Allah wants it to experience. So then these awliyaullah whom they operate through their soul, there can be many places at the same time, they're not reincarnated, it's the same creation. Allah can give them the power and authority to have many forms, because the form is of no significance. We have a category of awliyaullah in Islam called budala, means the changed ones, that they're continuously changing. They can appear in different places with a different image. And so the budala, whom 40 of them their base is in Damascus. And Imam of the budala was Imam Syekh Luhayfi, the one that there was an image very old, his turban, he wears like a kippah, a fabric over his head, and would give water and teach hadith in the masjid, Imam of the budala. And there's 40 mihrabs in the association where they meet, and they have their spiritual meeting, they give their orders and they're moving. Many of them don't even know that they're budala, and many of them don't know what their soul and where it's appearing and where it's doing. But that's under Allah's command. If they reach to a state in which they know, then Allah will give them an understanding of knowing. But reality and the immensity of Islamic knowledge in these subjects, it cannot be compared to anything. Everything else is like in the complete dark closet. Islam is the shining bright light of all realities. So these budala, they're appearing all over the earth in different images, different forms, doing whatever Allah wants. So we have that in Islam, and Prophet even mentioned the budala, that don't speak bad about Damascus ever, because there are a category of rijal called budala. Don't talk bad about the people in Iraq because there's nuqaba. So Prophet described these categories of awliyaullah, and for that our understanding and the ta'leem that no, this exists, and they're servants of Allah. When Allah want to grant somebody servanthood and say, you are my servant, we've discussed in other talks, this is not something demeaning like you have in your house saying, I have a servant. When Allah gives servanthood to a servant, means He's given them ancient knowledges. An abd, they reach to Allah's ayn, like the 4 holy companions, Sayyidina Abu Bakr, which was Abdullah, Sayyidina Umar, Uthman and Ali. These are the 4 great ayns of Prophet, and they carry immense Divinely realities and knowledge from the heart of Sayyidina Muhammad. When Allah want to grant a servant, He grants them this ayn, ancient knowledges. So with knowledge comes all power, because how can there be a power if there's no ilm and knowledge and reality behind it? So no, these are immense realities. So Allah doesn't need to recycle anything, they appear as any form they want. And all our lives in travelling we came across many of them. You meet them and say, this is Shaykh so and so, and has completely different image. And this is not something hard for them, this is the Allah asks, is your creation harder or the heavens and all of its majestic lights and planets and stars and universes and galaxies. So and every moment my Lord is in a new tajalli. What does that mean? Somebody whom Allah has granted that, I am your hearing, is granting them a Divinely lordly dress. I am your seeing, I am the hands in which you touch, the feet in which you walk, the mouth in which you speak. All of the faculties that Allah want to give in Hadith al-Qudsi to the servant. And then Allah describing, at every moment I'm in a new tajalli, and in every moment I can make a new creation. New creation is continuously coming. So forever that servant goes, they can become something new. So nothing is hard for Allah, and these realities are not through the head but they're through the heart. And the purest, highest level of its understanding is through the tariqas and Islam. But Islam now is something that's unknown to people and is empty, because we are in the second Jahiliyyah and the arrival of Sayyidina Mahdi where Islam comes as something that is something foreign. People think they're practicing Islam, and then the shaykhs talk about realities, they say, what are you talking about? This is not Islam. It's actually the reverse, it's what you understand is incorrect, and the depth of Islam is what they're teaching. There's an ocean that has no limit, no right and no left, no forward and no back, its immensity. InshaAllah.